When you buy land that's been in your family for generations, you expect peace, not drama. Unfortunately, my new neighbors brought drama in bulk. My name's Jake, and I own 120 acres of wooded property just outside of the gated community called Silver Pines Estates. My family has lived on this land for over a century, long before the HOA existed. Our property line runs right next to the community's fancy clubhouse and their nature trail. I didn't have any issue with them, until she showed up. The arrival of HOA Karen. The HOA president was a woman named Karen Whitmore. Early 50s, always in pastel suits, and always clutching her clipboard like it was a weapon. The kind of person who believes everything within a 5-mile radius falls under her authority. Our first encounter was when she marched up my driveway uninvited. "Excuse me, sir," she said, squinting like my existence was an inconvenience. "Do you realize your fence is encroaching on Silver Pines property?" I blinked. "Ma'am, that fence has been here since 1972. You can check the county plat. It's my land." She smiled. The kind of tight, fake smile that could slice glass. "Oh, I'm sure it's just a misunderstanding. I'll have our HOA surveyor check it out." And just like that, she strutted off. 2 weeks later, I got a letter claiming my fence was 3 feet into HOA land, and must be removed within 14 days or I'd face fines. I laughed. "They can fine whoever actually belongs to their HOA," I muttered, tossing the letter into the fireplace. I wasn't a member. My property was never annexed. I had zero legal ties to them. But that didn't stop Karen. The community access problem. About a month later, I noticed groups of HOA residents wandering through my back pasture, cutting across to the lake. Turns out, the community's walking trail ended right at my fence line, so instead of building a proper turnaround, they just cut a hole in the fence and kept walking onto my property like it was a park. I caught one of them once, a guy carrying a cooler. "Hey, this is private property," I said. "Oh, Karen said it's fine," he replied, shrugging. Of course she did. That night, I welded the gate shut, posted private property, no trespassing signs, and installed motion cameras. The next morning, Karen stormed up my driveway again. "You can't block community access," she barked. "You're violating our recreational easement." "There's no easement," I said flatly. "You're trespassing." "Don't test me," she huffed, red in the face, and pointed her pen at me like it was a dagger. "This isn't over, Mr. Carter. You'll regret being difficult." The HOA's big idea. Weeks passed, and I figured she'd moved on. But then I noticed new signs popping up around the community. Greater than Silver Pines Summer Celebration, hosted at the Lakeside Pavilion. Music, food, and fun by the water. June 10th, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Only problem: the Lakeside Pavilion was on my property. Apparently, the HOA had decided to host their massive summer bash on my land, right where the old barn and dock sat near the lake. I hadn't given permission. No one even asked. When I confronted Karen at the clubhouse, she waved her hand like I was a pesky fly. "Oh, please, Jake. The lake's community shared property. Everyone enjoys it." "Not true," I said. "That lake's entirely on my parcel." "You're trespassing," she smirked. "Then take it up with the HOA board." I did. They ignored me. So, I decided if they wanted a party, they were going to get one, on my terms. The welcome plan. On the morning of the event, I got up early. I unlocked the big iron gate at the far end of my driveway, the one that opened onto the wide dirt road leading to the lake. I made sure the sign that said private property, no HOA access was freshly polished. Then I set up my game cameras, drone, and, most importantly, my new steel padlock with a remote control latch system I'd installed a week prior. By noon, the first of 10 charter buses rolled up, engines humming and kids cheering. Karen was in front, waving like a politician. "Oh good, you got the gate open for us." I just smiled. "Wouldn't want to ruin your special day." She didn't suspect a thing. One by one, the buses rolled in, parents, kids, caterers, food trucks, even a live band. About 400 people total. They spread out across the grassy area near the lake, setting up tents, barbecues, and bounce houses. I walked among them like a ghost, unseen but watching. Then, when the last bus rolled through, I quietly walked back up the dirt road, closed the heavy gate, and locked it tight. The party turned sour. For a while, everything was perfect, for them. Music, laughter, splashing in the lake. Karen strutted around like a queen, telling everyone how she secured this beautiful private spot for free. Around 4 p.m., though, the problems started. The caterers' generators began running low on fuel. The portable toilets filled up fast. A couple of parents wanted to leave early to pick up their kids from soccer practice. They piled onto one of the buses, but couldn't get out. The gate was locked. Karen called me, fuming. "Jake, did you lock the gate?" "Sure did," I said calmly. "Private property. I didn't authorize this event. This is illegal. You're holding us hostage." "No, I'm not. You entered without permission. That's trespassing. I'm just protecting my land. You can't do this." "Oh, but I can. The sheriff's already aware. He's the one who told me to document everything." You could hear the panic in her silence. Chaos ensues. I watched from my truck on a nearby ridge as the party slowly descended into chaos. Parents argued with Karen. The band stopped playing. Kids started crying. Caterers packed up. One man tried to drive his pickup through the side fence, but got stuck in the mud. By 6 p.m., tempers boiled over. People were demanding refunds, buses honking, and Karen frantically calling anyone who'd listen. Then, sure enough, the sheriff's SUV pulled up to the gate. The sheriff's visit. Sheriff Miller was a family friend. I'd called him earlier to explain what was going to happen. He parked by the gate and gave me a knowing smirk. "So, this is the famous HOA invasion." He chuckled. "Yup. Got everything on camera," I said, showing him the footage. 10 buses, banners, food trucks, the whole event, no permission. He sighed. "All right, I'll handle it." He radioed in for backup, then unlocked the gate himself and drove down toward the lake. I followed slowly behind. When we arrived, Karen was red-faced and yelling into her phone. When she saw me, she practically exploded. "You are going to be sued for everything. This is false imprisonment." Sheriff Miller stepped forward. "Ma'am, calm down. You're on private property without consent. That's criminal trespass." "Private property. This is community land," she shrieked. He held up the map printout from the county assessor's office. "No, ma'am. This is parcel 317B, owned solely by Jacob Carter. You and your group are trespassing on his property." The silence that followed was delicious. The mass exodus. Under the sheriff's orders, everyone began packing up. The caterers, the band, the food trucks, all gone. Parents glared at Karen like she'd personally ruined their summer. When the last bus was about to leave, I couldn't help but twist the knife just a bit. "Karen," I said loudly enough for the crowd to hear, "next time you host an event, maybe check who owns the land first." Few people laughed outright. Her face turned the color of a tomato. "You'll regret this, Jake." "Maybe," I said, grinning, "but today, I'm the one locking up." As the last bus rolled out, I closed the gate again and clicked the lock shut with my remote. The sheriff gave me a pat on the shoulder. "That was some grade A patience right there." "Patience," I said. "I call it performance art." The fallout. 2 days later, the HOA sent me a formal complaint, accusing me of malicious interference with community events. I laughed so hard I nearly spilled my coffee. Instead of replying, I forwarded everything, photos, videos, the sheriff's report, to the county attorney. Turns out, using private property without permission for a commercial event, complete with ticket sales and catering contracts, was a serious violation. The HOA was fined over $50,000 for trespassing, unlicensed vending, and environmental impact on the lakefront. Karen personally got hit with a civil citation for organizing an event without a permit. Word spread fast. Within weeks, the HOA board voted to remove her as president. Half the residents quit the HOA altogether. The cherry on top. A few months later, I got a letter from the new HOA president, a polite man named Tom Nguyen. He apologized for the previous board's behavior and offered to pay for any damages. I told him not to worry about it, as long as the HOA kept their folks off my land. To his credit, he kept his word. They even rebuilt their walking trail to end properly on their side of the fence. As for Karen, rumor has it she tried to sue the HOA for defamation and wrongful removal, but she lost. Her family eventually sold their house and moved to another community 2 towns over. Somewhere with, I imagine, a new HOA to terrorize. A little payback. A year later, I threw my own party down by the lake, just family and friends. We roasted barbecue, played music, and told the story of the day the HOA got locked in, more times than I could count. Someone asked me if I ever felt bad about it. Not really, I said, smiling at the reflection of the lake under the sunset. I didn't trap them, I just let them experience what happens when you ignore boundaries. My cousin laughed. So you just gave them a lesson in property rights. Exactly, I said. A free one, too. Epilogue. 1 year later. Funny thing. Karma doesn't stop. The HOA later discovered that part of their walking trail actually crossed into my property by about 20 feet, based on new surveys. Instead of suing them, I made them an offer. They could lease that strip from me for $1 a year, as long as they posted a sign that read, "Greater than, trail access courtesy of Jake Carter, private land. Respect boundaries." They agreed. Now, every time Karen's old friends walk the trail, they pass that sign. And every single one of them remembers the day their fearless leader tried to throw a party on someone else's land. And ended up locked inside it. Moral of the story: never assume you own what you don't. Respect boundaries, because sometimes, the person you're trespassing on has the keys to the gate.